Right, we've got a job to do on the BMW Z3. The windscreen wipers have stopped working. It's had an intermittent fault virtually since I got it, which is now about 18 months ago. And every now and again they just stop, but they always start it again. Now, the washers work, but the wipers themselves don't work. Now, what I've done in the past is I've just squirted some penetrant oil on it, on the joints, and within half an hour they've started working again. Now, that could have just been a coincidence, but what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to check the fuses. So I'll get the bonnet open and we'll check the fuses, but this could be one of a number of things. It could be the switch itself, it could be a fuse, it could be a relay, it could be the actual mechanism has seized, so it could be the motor that's gone. So what I'm going to do is start at the beginning, check the fuses, and then I'm going to check to see if I'm getting power to the motor. Now that's quite involved on these because it's underneath a plastic panel, and plastic on older BMWs, I mean this thing is 24, getting on for 25 years old now, so I would imagine things are quite brittle, so I'm expecting I'm going to have to take it slow and try not to break anything. Right, here we are with the bonnet open now, and the fuse box on this, it's registered in the year 2000. The fuse box on this is on the right hand, as you look at the engine, on the right hand side, and pretty much you just pull it up and it's on a bit of a hinge, and you just unhinge the back and it comes out. Right, once we've removed the fuse box cover, on the inside we've got a map of where all the fuses are situated. Now, funny enough, there's nothing on this map about any of the relays. It doesn't tell you anything about the relays. Now, the relays are a bit of a mishmash on this vehicle. There's some in the fuse box, there's some in the engine management unit, there's some under the steering wheel, and there's some under the glove box. And what we're concerned with at the moment is we're concerned with testing the fuses for the whitewash system. Now, when you look at the map, you've got the fuses there, which are number 3, 36 and 44. You look at number 3 and it's a 30 amp, and it's situated between 1 and number 10. So number 3 is there, which is here. There, that green one there, the third one along, that's the one of the fuses. It should be a 30 amp fuse. Now I'm going to use the tool supplied to remove it. Just get it in there, get in, come on, there we go. Pull that out. Now, when we take the fuse out, you can have a quick visual check and you can see that the fuse appears to be unbroken. But we need to do a continuity check just to check that everything's okay. Now, I got a continuity tester here, an electrical continuity tester. I'm going to try and do it with one hand, reach both sides, and there we go, we've got continuity. So that fuse is okay. Now that fuse is okay, so we just stick that back in. There we go, that's back in. I'm going to check the other two fuses, which are fuse number 36 and 44. We just use the map, take them out and do exactly the same thing. Well, thanks very much. We're going to move on now to the next step, which is to expose the wiper motor, which is underneath the plastic cover under the scuttle panel, and just visually check the motor, the mechanism and the power, and see what we've got underneath there. Right, we're back working on the BMW now, the windscreen wipers. Now we need to remove the windscreen wiper arms We previously put some masking tape on the window and marked where the windscreen wipers go, where they sit with a pencil line on the windscreen. There, just about to see it, so we know where they've got to go back. Now, what we've done is we've bought this little kit, this little set of pullers to remove the windscreen wiper. There's two little parts. There's two parts. There's this one here, which doesn't get very good write-ups, and this proper puller. We'll try this one first. Now, what I'm going to do is just put it, the hooks under the windscreen, over the thing, over the bolt, and then tightens down. Tightens down. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Hopefully it won't take too much pressure and this will work. It just seems to be... Nope. Oh, it's worked. Excellent. So that little one's worked. That's great. It didn't get very good write-ups, to be honest, but it seems to work great. So let's do the other one. That one fits in nicely, but it's loosened off a bit. Fits on the other both. Let's do it the other way around. Oh, that one's off. That one's loose. That one's okay. It's come off. But no need. Right. Excellent. So there's the two windscreen wipers off. Right. Right. The next thing we've got to do is remove this plastic cover to gain access to the this thing here, to gain access to the wiper motor. It's held in with these little plastic clips. Now I expect these to be quite brittle, so I expect that I'm going to break some of these, but like I say, we've got this little set here and I'm going to try and lever them up. This one looks about the right one, that one there, so let's see if we can get that underneath there to lever them up. Oh, that's come up okay. And flicked somewhere where we're probably never going to find it again. Anyway, get the idea. The trick is to get your tool, so to speak, get your trim tool right underneath. Just loosen up a little bit that way, and get your trim tool right underneath like that. Your thumb stop it flying off, and then just leave it off. And they seem to be coming away okay. Not as bad as I thought. Like I say, we've just... That's it. Nicely done. There's two there. The hardest part up to now is getting the trim tool underneath it. Anyway, you get the idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to remove them, and then we'll take the cover off. I'll just get them off and I'll get back to you. Right, we've removed all these little trim clips now. These little things here. Okay, we've lost one because it pinged off into the landed in the gravel, never to be found again, no doubt. But I'll probably come across it at some point where I don't want it. It's these little clips that hold the plastic trim cover on are in two parts, and I think this has obviously been off before because some of the top bits are missing. So it's in two pieces. You've got the little bit that goes in the bottom there, this piece, and then you've got like a little insert that goes into that hole at the back and pushes in. Now they're in two parts, but there's some of them are missing, so I'm going to have to order them. We've removed the rubber. We've also removed the rubber trim from here as well. Now this thing is quite loose now, so what we're going to do is we're going to put you on the tripod and I'm going to waggle that off and get that off now. Now this thing now should waggle off. There we go. There we go, that's off. So the whole thing is off there. This little set of levers, trim levers from Sealy, this set, it's been one of the best things I've ever bought. I've used it over and over again on just about everything. Like I said, I can't get electrical connections for the wiper motor. It's hooked right underneath here, underneath just the bottom there. So what I'm going to have to do is undo these two Torx bolts here, find that one there and that one there, and lift it out, disconnect it electrically and see if we've got power coming from the switch to the motor. Right, these are T30 Torx. What I'm going to do is hit it with a liberal dose of WD-40 and see if we can get them off. So I'll just put you back on the stand while I struggle to get this off. You can happily watch me struggle now, and I can curse and swear under my breath. Hopefully, you never know, it might just come straight off. Like I said, T30, let's see what happens. Oh, that appeared to loosen straight off, so quite nice. Try the other one. Very nice, it's just come straight out, just come straight off. Great. So let's get them off and see what happens. There's one. And there's the other one. Oh, wouldn't you know it, wouldn't you know it. The electrical connection is underneath the motor and you can't manoeuvre the mechanism so that you can see the electrical connection, so you don't know whether it pulls off, whether you squeeze something and lift it off, whether it's got a lever holding it down or anything. You just don't know. So, and I can't, it just doesn't, it's not a very practical thing. So what we're going to try and do now is going to try and feel and blunder our way through this, see if we can disconnect our electrical connection, because the electrical connection has got to come off so that you can waggle this motor out. Torch on the subject, let's get some light on it. it doesn't look good anyway. Yep, we'll order a new one. Now, before we do that, we're going to clean all this out, this trough here, and spray it with wax oil or Lanagard. Give it a good hoover out, clean. Make sure the drain holes are clear. See if I can find the drain holes and make sure they're clear. And then we'll call it a day for that hour, and then we'll order a wiper motor. Oh, this, we'll pull it out, see, crap. Right, what we've done is we've given it a bit of a clean. We've made sure that the waterways are all clear so that any water that drains down there can get away. And that's all we can do for now until the new motor comes. I'll order one. I'm not going to order a new one, I'm going to order a second-hand one. And I'm going to put that in. And that'll do for today. So I'll get back on the job when the part arrives. Quite a straightforward job really. It's just a little bit awkward getting my big mitts in. I'll leave it with you. Leave it for that now. I'll leave you with that for now, and we'll carry on this video when I get the. Okay. So we're going to carry on working on the BMW today. we're going to do. Now what I want to do is I want to wax oil the scuttle area under the windscreen and all around that area, just to give it some rust protection while I've got the chance, while it's all stripped down. I can get at stuff. I'm just going to give it a coat of wax oil, well, Lanagard. First thing to do is to give it a bit of a clean and a wipe over with panel wipe. So that's what I'm going to do now. Right, and so we're going to clean the scuttle area, and we're going to apply some Lanagard to give it some protection. I'm just going to give it a wipe with some paper towel, and even though it's been covered by a car cover, there's still condensation collected under there and it's a bit damp in places, so get rid of the damp and then give it a wipe over with some panel wipe. Just ordinary panel wipe we've got lying around. One of the things we've got to do is the electrical connection under there. We need to mask that off. All I've got to hand at the moment is this masking tape, which is 3-inch, but it doesn't matter, it'll still do the same job. I've just wrapped it around the electrical connection, and just to stop any lanyard guard getting inside. It'll ruin the, obviously it'll ruin the electrical connection, so that's what we've done. And this is what I'm going to use at the moment. I've got this. I've got some lanyard guard rust protection, and I've also got the spray for putting up the channels and stuff. I'm just going to give it a liberal spray all over the skull area. Of course, the beauty about this stuff, if it is any water there, it displaces the water and it gives it a long-lasting protection. Anything really, it reckons 12 months, but in a place like this it's probably going to be a lot longer, because it's not subjected to any you know, road spray or anything. It's just basically an interior panel. Right, that's it really for now. I've got to let that dry. What we've done is we've sprayed all the interior of the scuttle panel with the lanyard guard, all that, and while I was there just squirted it around a few other places just to top up here and there. But you know, it's all done. It's all nicely sprayed with lanyard guard, and that just needs to go off a bit now, and we can then fit the windscreen wiper motor right. We're back working on the BMW again. What we're going to do now, we're going to take the covers off and have a look how the wax oil has dried. Sorry, the lanyard guard has dried. And then we're going to open up the box that we got from eBay, which is the wiper motor and the mechanism. So here we go. Just put you on the tripod while I get this cover off. Okay, so that's the cover off and everything. Let's go and have a look at what this lanyard guard's dried like. There you go. Looks quite nice in here. You can smell it a bit, but other than that, you can see it's put like a nice film all over. So I'm happy with that. Now, let's take a look now at what we've got in this box. It's no point. It's just a cost of that with postage, about 30 quid. Couldn't get one in the local scrapyard. They just don't appear in the scrapyards anymore. These starting to get a bit old. Oh, it's well wrapped up anyway, the box wrapped up. Well, first impressions is it looks a lot nicer than it did in the pictures on the eBay. Pictures didn't really do it any justice. All you need to do now, if you need to get the old one, and just put them side by side and see if they're identical. Yep, part number's the same, everything's the same, except this one looks a bit shitty. That's going to get scrapped. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if I can get this inside the scuttle panel area and get this electrical connection. You can see the shape of the connection, so it can only really go on one way, but it's really difficult to get at. It's right up underneath here. You can just see where I put the masking tape on, so I'll pull that off. And that fitting goes on there. You can just see it in there. That fitting goes on there, and screws down. So let's go, see if we can get it in. Let's put you back on the tripod. Right, okay. I had a bit of difficulty getting this out originally, so everything looks okay. We won't know really until we it's gone easier than to come out. And all we've got to do now, I'm going to take my gloves off for this because it's quite tricky. I'll go and get a torch. Just have a look at that. Switch orientate. See if I can get it on. Well, that went on a bit easier than expected. It's gone straight on. Remains now is to bolt it in place. It's 2 bolts. Got these 2 Torx bolts to hold it down in place. I'm just going to bolt it in place now, and then I'll show you what it's before I turn it on. I'll show you what I've done. Right, back. I'm still struggling to find this relay, this wiper relay. Now I've done a bit more research, and apparently, hopefully, it's situated behind the glove box. Now it means removing the glove box, and it's held in basically with a few screws here and there. When you open the glove box you can see them, and I'm hoping that's going to be enough for me to get at this relay. So I'm going to undo them screws and see if I can free this glove box up, and then I'll get back to you. Right, we're back working on the BMW, and we've got the part that we ordered for the car's being delivered. This is the windscreen wiper control module. There's the part number. Now I've put the date on it myself just so I know when I've done it, and also so I don't get it mixed up with the other one. Right, so let's get to it. Just gotta move a few parts out of the vehicle for obvious reasons. There's the glove box. Now then, this thing is under there. Now you can see the pins on there, and it's got 2 locating pins, 1, 2 on the side, and it slides into this thing, you can see. So what you've got to do, I can't do it, you push in and then that thing slides up and locks it in place. So I'll get it in now and see how we go. I'll put you there. I don't know what you can see, but I might be able to see some of, oops, excuse me. If I put you there like that. Right. I'm going to line the pins up. There we go. And then slide that in. There we go. It's gone in easy enough. Now then, this thing, there's 2. There's 2 spring located pins on the side there. On there, on either side. You just have to slide that in and it locks in place. There we go. Just clicks in place. Nicely clicks in place. There's something missing off the bottom there, must be. Oh well. Now then. There it is, locked in place. Now then, the thing we want to do now is we want to see if this is if it's going to work. Let's get the bars open. Oi. Nice. Here we have the wiper mechanism and the motor, and what we want to do now is put the ignition on and see we have the ignition. See if we have liftoff. Look at that working, excellent. Beautiful. So that's all working nicely. Thomas, come here. Sit. Now, what we're going to do now is put it back together. And what we're going to start with is we're going to start putting the inside together first. We're going to get this glove compartment box back in. There we go. Okay, there's the windscreen wipers. There we are, intermittent. Medium and on full. So we now have the windscreen wipers working correctly, the switch is working nicely, and everything seems to be okay. Hopefully we won't have any more problems. We can now get this thing valeted and polished, and then in a few months' time we'll carry on working on it. Thank you for watching, and happy BMW Z3. I'm going to take ours out today and see where it takes us. Engine's running nicely. Everything's nice and comfortable and dry in here, so we're going to get off. Okay, so what have I actually learned? What have I learned from doing this? Well, one of the things I have learned is there's so many BMW Z3 models that you've got to be really careful about what you're looking at on the internet. The information on the internet is sometimes vague and sometimes totally wrong. There was very little information about the location of the windscreen wiper control module. There was very little information about the BMW windscreen wiper control module, and the problem is you've got a lot of YouTube is American and UK, and you know, they're saying, oh, it's under here or it's under that side, and you've got to be mindful of the fact that we're right-hand drive here, and things are going to be a bit different. There was the information on the actual relays on the Z3 are vague. There's a lot about the fuse box and the relays in the fuse box and what they're for, but then they'll just point out there's some more under there, under the dashboard, and they don't tell you what they are or what the hell. Like this is a 1.894, I think it is. I call it a 1900, but it isn't. It's classed as a 1.8, and underneath the steering wheel to the right hand side there's 3 relays right tucked up, right up underneath, and they I don't know what they're all for. I couldn't find what they were all for, but I think the middle one is the airbag system. The middle one, the big one in the middle, I think is the airbag system. There's a control module bolted up underneath the binnacle, and I think that one is the what's it called? Well, your car won't start. I'll come back to that. And on the other side, under the dashboard, there's a couple, and the one in the middle, the blue one, is the windscreen wiper control module, and then there's a big fuse under there. I think that's fuse 48. Also, just under the bonnet, when you lift the bonnet, just at the top on the right hand side, if you take the cover off there, there's a plastic cover, if you take that off, there's 2 more relays and a bank of 30 amp fuses. I think that's got something to do with the engine management system, but I'm not sure. Perhaps someone could tell me what they're for. That control module under the binnacle, anyway, there's one there, I can't remember what it's for. Also, when you're doing jobs like this, you know, anyone who's watching, you're watching somebody who's not a mechanic, they've got no mechanical knowledge, or very little. I mean, I can identify the parts on the vehicle, I know what they're for, and I can do some fault finding, and I've got a lot of tools, because I've collected them over the years. But I'm not a mechanic, I'm just bungling my way through here and enjoying myself, you know, trying to sort out problems. Now, when I did this job, I didn't know what the fault was, but I worked out that it can only be a few causes. It could be a fuse, it could be a relay or the control module, it could be the the switch on the steering column, and it also could have been the motor. So I decided I'd go for the fuses first, and I worked out that it's not the fuse, they were all intact. Then I sort of surmised that the windscreen wiper switch on the steering column, it was working on wash wipe, so probably the switch is going to be okay. So I went to the motor itself. Now it's tucked up right underneath the scuttle panel under the windscreen, really difficult to get at, and I couldn't even get my hand in. So what I had to do was take the motor out to have a look to get to the power, and I recognised that there was no power getting to the motor, and also that the linkages off the motor were worn and in poor condition. So I decided to change the motor anyway, and the linkages. I got a second-hand one off eBay for about £25, and I fitted that, and it's a far better unit, and it seems to work a lot smoother. But it didn't cure the problem. The problem was actually the control module, and the symptoms leading up to this was shortly after I bought this vehicle about 18 months ago. I realised that it had been standing for some considerable time, and it's only been used every now and again. Now, the windscreen wipers, after a few weeks, they just stuck. They just stopped, and we had to park up, a bit of fiddling around, and then all of a sudden they just came on by themselves. So it was fine for a few months, and then it happened again. And then I thought it was the linkages, so I put some WD-40, some penetrating oil on the linkages, and it come on. So I thought everything was fine, and then all of a sudden we got in the car one day and no windscreen wipers. Wasn't the linkages, so it had to be either one of the other problems I've outlined before, and that was the symptoms. So the fact that when I put penetrating oil on the linkage system was probably indication that they were in poor condition, and because it's been standing for a long time, they were quite stiff and not working properly. So that has probably caused the module, in my opinion of course, it has caused the control module to overheat and burn out, or whatever. I took it apart and I couldn't find any burn marks on it, so it was just gone, just worn out. So I think it was more than one problem that was causing issues. So the fact that I've changed the windscreen wipers, the windscreen wiper motor and linkages, is probably a good thing anyway. And I don't think I've wasted my money. The whole thing really cost me about £50 in parts. And because I'd stripped it all out, I got to Lanagard under the scuttle panel and give it a good coating of Lanagard and got a clean and and everything. So that has protected that, and I refurbished the plastics and everything. So it looks a lot nicer. So all in all, great job, good job, well done. Saved myself a fortune, 50 quid in parts. I can just imagine between 60 and 80 pound labour in the local garages at the moment. So the first 60 quid would have been identifying what the problem was in the first hour, and then you're going to have 1 or 2 hours, probably 2, to sort out the mechanics, actually get to the module and take it out. So you've got a minimum really of £120 in labour, and then you've got your parts which you've got to buy, which the module cost me £20 second hand, so that's 140 quid. And then if you were to say 140, a few bits and pieces that they might need, 150 quid plus 20% VAT, which is another 30. So you're looking at £180 to do this job, minimum, in a garage. And I've done it for 50 quid, and I've got a new motor and a module, and I've wax oiled, Lanagarded under my scuttle panel and refurbished the parts, which they wouldn't have done. So happy days. Happy Z3ing. Getting ready for the summer. Lots of days out with the hood down. Looking forward to it. Thank you for watching. Hope I haven't bored you too much. And if you feel the need to shout at me because I've done something wrong, feel free, because I'm going to take no notice of you. And those who enjoy the video that I'm making, or it's any use to them, good luck to you. Have a nice day. See ya. Bye.